What's up everybody, man, back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla Minus One news and updates. That's right, in this video we're going to be doing another Godzilla Minus One updates, and it's been a while since I've done a news video for Minus One, so I'm quite behind, but I'm going to do my best to catch up before December 1st when the movie comes out in America. Until then, there's a lot to catch up on, and so we're going to do that now. And again, as I said in the last video, unfortunately I'm very busy at the moment. I'm going to be busy for this entire week, so I will not have time to spend on these videos, so I gotta keep it moving quick. But in this video we're going to be trying to answer the question of where is the Godzilla Minus One trailer 3, but before we can do that, let's first take a look at some art. This first piece comes to us from 2001 GMK, and it's actually a custom figure he made. This is his custom Godzilla Minus One, and I think it looks awesome. I love how much articulation he added. I love how he's customized this thing. I think he has started with the base being the Bandai Godzilla The Ride, which is pretty sick. Next up comes to us from Stcom3373, who's an artist we've talked about so many times, and this is a wonderful Godzilla face he's made. This is such a great piece, and he followed it up with this incredible Godzilla Minus One wallpaper with this enormous explosion behind Godzilla and this crazy burning city he's standing in. This is epic. It shows the true scale and disaster of this movie, captures it wonderfully, and I cannot wait to see what other art comes out for this film because the film looks beautiful and a lot of these artists are just killing it with this stuff. Next up, this is not art, but this is something kind of weird. This is a collaboration between Godzilla Minus One and a film called Yoshiki Under the Sky. So here's a poster for that collaboration. It's a crossover poster, and basically all it was that during the premiere for Yoshiki Under the Sky, they had a Godzilla presence there just to celebrate and cross-promote both movies, but it wasn't like an official Godzilla's in the film kind of deal. The main trailer for Godzilla Minus One dropped on September 4th, as we've talked about many times. We've spent a long time talking about that main trailer on this channel. It's why I fell so far behind on news. The same day, the Minus One cast list was released, and while I have covered that in previous videos, I just want to run through it quickly now. I'm not going to read the character bios because by now, if you've been watching the channel, you should be very familiar with these characters, and if you're not, well then I've got tons and tons of videos about Minus One that you can check out. I will say I do like this collage with all the character photos in it. It's very nostalgic and takes me back to the Shin Godzilla days. First up on our cast list is Ryonosuke Kamiki, and he is playing Koichi Shikishima. Next up is Minami Hamabe. She's from Shin Kamen Rider, and she is playing Noriko Oishi. Our next cast member is Yuki Yamada, playing Shiero Mizushima. Next up is Takataka Aoki, playing Sosaku Tachibana. Hidetake Yoshioka, who has previously worked with director Takashi Yamazaki on the Always Sunset films, is playing Kenji Noda. Sakura Ando is playing Sumiko Ota. Kuronosuke Sasaki is playing Yuji Akitsu, and that is our entire cast list for the film, at least our main characters. So now that we're all caught up on that, let's go through some other stuff. In addition to the key cast and crew members being revealed for Godzilla Minus One, there was also a press conference held for the film where they went over all the same stuff. Toho hosted the press conference for the movie, and it's almost 40 minutes long, and it's got some good insights in it. There at the press conference, Ryonosuke Kamiki, who plays Shikishima, said that he was scared by the realism in the film. Minami Hamabe, who plays Oishi, reported that she could clearly understand Godzilla's expressions and feelings in the film and that they did a wonderful job bringing that to life. Director Takashi Yamazaki reported that the film is the culmination of all that he has learned as a filmmaker. And in addition to those headlines, I'll run through all of the big reveals during that press conference. It's quite lengthy, so let's try and power through it all. After introducing the cast and crew, they mentioned that Shin Godzilla was a major inspiration for them, stating that Shin Godzilla returned Godzilla to a symbol of nuclear destruction, and so they followed suit. Godzilla's nuclear status in Shin Godzilla was inspiring to them and inspired them to set this immediately post-war. They wanted to touch on similar political dramatic themes as Shin Godzilla. This film will have many similarities to films in Godzilla's history, and especially to the themes touched upon in the Showa and Heisei series. Unlike previous Godzilla films, this one is set in a world where Japan is without a military and lacking any weaponry, making it a fresh and unique period to set the film in. Yamazaki discusses the responsibility of taking on this role, as Godzilla is such a large legacy character and has an incredibly passionate fan base, and so that could be pretty intimidating. But he also felt confident in his abilities as a filmmaker, and so he wasn't too worried. Hamabe talks about her excitement in being cast in this and recalls that she grew up surrounded by Godzilla imagery. She says that it was a dreamlike feeling acting alongside Godzilla, and that there was some level of anxiety involved just given how large scale this production was, but that Yamazaki got her through it. Yamazaki discusses how he featured Godzilla in a a film before, and how this time around he worked very hard with the CGI in the script to make sure that everything was as good as possible and complementing each other in ways that could benefit the film as a whole. The film works hard to make the CGI as realistic as possible and as true to Godzilla as they could, although practical effects did not seem to be used. They attempted to make this movie as immersive as possible, hoping that the high attention to detail and realism in the film would make it as engaging and involved and impactful as it could be. They attempted to create the most terrifying Godzilla possible, who is an embodiment of fear and tension. They attempted to do this through the use of scale and onomatopic sound design, so really intense sound design. Yamazaki was involved in the development of special screenings for this film, including IMAX and other such formats, as a way to make sure that they stayed true to his vision. The cast and crew did not consult with previous Godzilla actors for this film. The cast and crew was super excited that this film is getting a wide release in North America, and they cannot wait to see how the US responds to it. The actors mentioned the difficulties of working with CGI rather than with real characters, and then discussed the difficulties of bringing their characters to life. Hamabe discusses the sorrow and desperation and despair she had to portray, especially in relation to the war. She also talks about how horrifying the train escape sequence was to film. Meanwhile, Kamiki discusses the struggle of pushing himself further mentally and emotionally than he has ever had to do before, resulting in reoccurring nightmares relating to the film, where at times he would get so lost in his character's grief that he was still dealing with it in real life. Both seem to agree that the stakes were so high while filming that it felt life-threatening at times, and that this authentic presence made their performances more real. They said the presence of devoted Godzilla fans on set made it feel equally high stakes because they didn't want to mess things up for the franchise. When asked to describe the film in one word, they all agreed upon the word dream, because the film felt like a dream in both good ways and in the way that the material of the film feels like a nightmare. They say that the film is a combination of dream and despair, while highlighting the resilience of people in the worst situations. They said that the line, "That monster will never forgive us," is a summary of the movie as a whole and is the key thematic statement for the film. Yamazaki then explains the title, echoing the "from zero to minus" tagline. He also says that the title was chosen because the film is set before the 1954 film, meaning that it is the first Godzilla movie in some ways, or in fact what comes before the first, although he stresses that they're not connected, it's just more of a symbolic thing. Toho released a list of movie theaters playing Godzilla Minus One in Japan, so if you're in Japan or headed to Japan to see the film, you can go check out that list linked down below to find out where you can watch the movie. It doesn't really say when they'll be playing, but you can find out which theaters are playing the film. Yamazaki picked Godzilla 1954 to be re-released in 4K on September 15th. Along with that, he picked Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, his first Godzilla film he watched, to release in 35mm on September 29th. Takashi Yamazaki will appear before both Godzilla film screenings, where he would give a speech about the film alongside a creator from the movies. In the case of Godzilla 1954, Shinji Higuchi was there because of course he did Shin Godzilla, which similarly to Minus One touched upon the original film. And Keizu Murase would appear for Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, as he was one of the suit makers involved in that film and worked on the special effects for a bunch of Shoei-era Godzilla films. These films would be playing at the Humax cinemas. Yamazaki and Higuchi celebrated Godzilla Minus One and Godzilla 1954 together. There's some photos of them during the screening. Yamazaki celebrated his meeting with Higuchi on Twitter, saying it was a great experience, and Yamazaki and Higuchi talked Minus One at that conference, and we do have a little segment of that where we get to hear a snippet of what they're talking about. This segment, they're actually talking about the trailer for Godzilla Minus One, which had just screened, and they discuss the strange feet that Godzilla Minus One has. I really don't know why the marketing has put so much emphasis on this guy's feet and his toes in particular, but they talk about how they are so large and articulate and so strange. They talk about the toes in particular and how monstrous, large, and inescapable they feel, unlike any other Godzilla's feet that came before them, and again, that's a lot of emphasis to be putting on this dude's feet. Following this was the screening for Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, where Yamazaki and Murase celebrated the film Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster and talked about special effects, as both of them come from the special effects world, Yamazaki starting in practical effects and moving to CGI, while Murase has gone on to become a legend in the suitmation world. Yamazaki celebrated his time with Murase, mentioning how nice it was to hear good things about Eiji Tsuburaya while they spoke, and how it was good to hear that Tsuburaya was open to young people's ideas. There are some promotional photos for these re-releases, including this one showing the original posters alongside their promotional image, and then there is this promotional image as a standalone. Additional exclusive items would be released at the screenings, so you could get exclusive Godzilla Minus One merchandise while there. In addition to that, a Godzilla Minus One lottery was offered. These lottery tickets could be purchased through the Mubicheki online store. This is basically like a convenience store in Japan where you could get lottery tickets to potentially get advanced screenings for Godzilla Minus One, and tickets went on sale as early as September 27th. Minus One's official novelization was announced with shocking news that director Takashi Yamazaki would be the author of the book and that it would release on November 8th. It would contain information that was omitted from the film and new details that Yamazaki added to the story. That is incredible news. I wish that would be an easily translated thing into English because that sounds wonderful. I really wish more often Godzilla directors would be involved in the novelizations of their films, and honestly, I just wish more directors would be involved in the novelization process overall. As much as I like what Greg Keyes does for the MonsterVerse films and their novelizations, I just wish that the filmmakers were on the same page with him because oftentimes his ideas are great, and it's sad to see that they don't really get acknowledged in live action. Ryonosuke Kamiki was set to have the first pitch at the Yomiuri Giants X Godzilla Minus One collaboration, which was, I don't know why I broke into that. That was a collaboration that happened on October 1st. Tickets went on sale as early as September 16th, and this event features original Godzilla goods, collaboration shirts, clear files, a collaboration video with Godzilla. Chibi Godzilla was present at the event, and there was more slated to occur. The Giants X Godzilla shirts and posters all went on sale, and it was a pretty big deal. In fact, this was such a big deal that many people slated October 1st as when they thought we were gonna get the next Godzilla Minus One trailer. As many of us know, that wasn't the case. In fact, we had to wait until October 20th to get the third teaser for Godzilla Minus One, which was only 15 seconds long. And this has led many people to ask, where is the Godzilla Minus One trailer 3? When are we gonna get it? And it's like, guys, when I'm recording this video, it's October 29th. Godzilla Minus One drops November 3rd in Japan. If they were gonna do a second trailer for the film, they would have done it by now. Now, that's not saying it's impossible. Maybe they do a last second push where they drop a trailer. I don't know why they would. Sometimes it's to promote the film has come out in theaters, which could mean we get it as late as the 3rd itself. But I would expect more TV spots to drop in the next couple weeks rather than trailers. In fact, I think the only shot we have of getting a full-length trailer at this late in the game is if some United States studio puts together a trailer for it, which I don't think is likely because Toho is the one distributing the film in the US. So I don't think we're gonna get a trailer. It's not like Fathom's gonna slap one together or Funimation's like they did for Shin Godzilla because Toho's in charge. And I don't think Toho's really gonna want to spend the extra money on that, especially because the Minus One trailer doesn't even play in US theaters. The movie's not been terribly well marketed in the United States, and I don't see that changing. So unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get a full-length Godzilla Minus One trailer. I'm not gonna rule it out. It could surprise us and drop literally any minute. It would be funny if it did, especially because by the time this video goes out, maybe it's already out. But I don't think there's gonna be another trailer for the film. I think there will be TV spots, and I think those will start up on the 3rd and go for the next couple weeks after the movie is out to promote that it's in theaters. So sorry to Godzilla fans who are really looking forward to that trailer. I don't think it's coming anytime soon. To end this video, Godzilla Minus One's world premiere red carpet event was announced to be held on the 18th of October in Tokyo. At the Godzilla Minus One red carpet, the public can come, but only the selected staff members and some selected members of the press and other people Toho wants will be able to attend. And the only public viewing space will be outdoors with no screening of the film itself. The cast and director were to be in attendance, but it's not like you could really go interact with them other than standing cheering in the line for them. And that's the case for most red carpets, so that's nothing new. Alright, that's where we're gonna leave it for this one, guys. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you very much for the support I get on the Patreon. If you want to check out the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below, where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. For now, that's all the time I got. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out!